We're in, we're on, we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. Thank you for joining us for our latest SilviaFindings live stream presentation thing that we've been doing every Wednesday morning, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. My hair is not cooperating today. Yes, we do this every Wednesday morning. We have been on an odyssey for the past more than a year, like 70 something episodes, so it's 70 weeks, 72, 70 something, whatever it is. It'll say in the title somewhere, wherever, if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact. If you're watching this live on Facebook Live, which as of right now looks like there are 2 people. I have a little number 2 right here in the corner. Probably doesn't show up on the screen, so at least 2 people are watching. Probably both are SilviaFindings employees, but that's okay. I'm okay with the live stream not happening live to think. Normally we get a couple of people who drop in, you know, some people sometimes, oh, see, one person's already left, and it's like, nah, never mind. But that's okay, because we're just continuing with our odyssey of cataloging all of our items. We've done pendants, we've done rings, we've done earrings, ear wires, ear posts, ear pads, all kinds of earring findings, and now we're continuing bales. We're most of the way through bales, probably another we'll probably keep doing bales into the new year, but you know what, probably by the time the new year comes around, we'll be good. We'll be done with the bales, so we'll have to move on to something else. I know that if you're watching this after the fact, it's me saying that, oh, the new year, you know, will be what the thing. It means nothing to you. So we got probably 6 episodes or so left to go before we're done with the bales. And then, like I said, I don't know what we're gonna do next. We'll just we'll think of something. It'll be good. It'll be cool. Probably get a little more informational. Maybe drill down on a couple of specific items, couple of specific techniques, maybe for setting. You know, because most stone setting is easy, but sometimes things are tricky. But anyway, neither here nor there. Shipping everywhere is bad. You know, normally I'm pretty good about hiding my disdain for Canada Post. Not really. I'm normally pretty good at expressing my angst with how bad they are. And so I'm not going to go any further than that. It's bad. I still get stuck on the fact that we shipped a package to the next province over. We're in Vancouver, literally, you know, Richmond is right across the river from, I mean, we're there. We're like right next to Vancouver. Basically, Richmond is where the Vancouver airport is, in case you need some geographical reference. So, you know, we're a major industrial, you know, 3rd biggest city in the country. And we shipped a package from here to Edmonton, which is the next province over in Alberta. It was a suburb of Edmonton, to be fair. It wasn't like downtown Edmonton. But Edmonton is what, like the 5th biggest city in the country? Maybe 6th? Sorry, I'm sure there's a maritime city somewhere that's whatever it is. But you know, one of the 10 biggest cities for sure in the country, and to get from here to there took 14 days. 14 days. I actually had a parcel that we shipped from here to the Netherlands that only took 11 days. So once you get it out of the hands of Canada Post, your parcel is smooth sailing. Although things are getting long again in the US. And this is not election shenanigans going on where people messing with the mail. This is just straight up because of volume, I think. Just volume. I know that people who are ordering custom stuff, boy, you gotta get, if you have custom ideas, you know, that you want to have before Christmas, you gotta get those orders in now, soon. We had a shipment that left our factory, and then it was stuck. So again, probably half the air cargo freight that comes here or goes around the world, whatever, is in commercial, you know, flights. So, you know, your touristy flights, your business flights, whatever, your regular, you know, KLM or United Airlines or WestJet or whatever airline it is, you know, they sell the passenger seats, and part of the cargo area is allocated for air cargo. They supplement their income that way. You know, that's how they can get away with not having full flights, although I can't remember the last time I was on a flight that wasn't full packed. But to be fair, this was all before the pandemic. I know that since then it's been bad. It's been bad, and this is part of the problem, is air freight companies don't have enough of their own planes, you know. I mean, they do have some air capabilities, you know, FedEx, DHL, they all have their own airplanes, but they don't have enough to fill all of the, or to carry all the cargo all the time. So stuff comes to the, we ship DHL from the factory to our office here in Canada. So it'll leave the factory, DHL truck will bring it to the airport, it'll go to the DHL depot there at the airport, and then this goes to Hong Kong. And then from Hong Kong, it'll sit and it'll wait to get on until it's consolidated into one of those big containers to get onto a flight. Now, there's been such a volume of air cargo and such a dearth of actual commercial flights that our latest one sat in Hong Kong for 14 days before I got on a flight. This is, you're paying air freight rates, you know, so you expect things to be fast. But no, it sat in the airport for 14 days. Then it came here. It didn't come here. It came to LA, Los Angeles. And then it sat in Los Angeles for 4 days before it finally cleared customs. And then it's been here, cleared customs, and we're just waiting for them to get it to the office. So this has like been another 3 days now that we've been waiting. We were expecting it last week. So, if you have custom items and you know that you're waiting for them, you know, they'll be here. You know, I don't know what to say. You know, we, you know, we're shipping theoretically the fastest shipping that you can get. You know, DHL, FedEx, all those kind of air couriers, they all work on similar schedules. And this is just kind of the problem with the thing. I know that there's a lot of doom and gloom, people talking about the infrastructure of the world collapsing underneath us, and logistics chains breaking down and creating havoc all over the world. And there's some of that. I don't think it's going to be quite pandemonium the way some people think, but you know, I still maintain that sooner or later, somehow between now and Christmas, I'm going to get one of those PS5s. It's going to happen. Anyway, so yes, my point was, if you have custom things that you need to order, boy, order them now. The sooner the better. Like if you order them, you know, towards the end of November, beginning of December, it's not going to get here for Christmas. I'm just telling you. I mean, just the reality of the thing is, even if we worked at superhuman speed and got your piece, you know, cast and polished and everything and ready to ship within like 2 or 3 days of receiving the order, which is technically feasible but functionally impossible. But even if we were able to do that, it wouldn't get here because of the shipping situation. It's just so bad. And that's it. That's my rant for today. As always, if you share this video, why you would do that is beyond me. But if you do, let us know, and we'll send you one of those little polishing cloths. Hey, where's my little polishing cloth? It's not here. Anyway, you know, little green polishing cloths that we have. Oh, here's one. Right? Here's a slightly used one. That the beautiful things about these is it's just a, you know, regular, that chamois material, almost felt, kind of feels like very thin felt, very flexible, but it's infused with a chemical that breaks down cupric oxides to help remove the tarnish from the surface of the materials without damaging. It's not like an abrasive, right? Like sandpapers or those kind of things. They actually physically remove part of the material from the surface of the piece. And these don't. These just unbind the cupric oxide and help you remove the tarnish, the cupric oxide. Because right, copper and oxygen binds together. You know what tarnish is. It's the ugly stuff that's on the surface of your silver. Luckily, almost all of our pendants and rings and bails are rhodium plated, so you don't have to worry about tarnishing happening very easily. Right, like Tiffany's. You ever go to Tiffany's? All that beautiful silver jewelry. They don't pull that out of the case and polish it every day. It looks that shiny because it's all rhodium plated, right? All good, silver jewelry is rhodium plated for life, to last, to make it last. Anyway, neither here nor there. Let's move on to the bails. Yeah, let me just move this around. Our first item, I'm actually going to pull one of these out of the bag because it's easier to see with this when it actually works. LJ260 with a retail price of $15.17 and a wholesale price of $9.49. This is what they call a necklace enhancer, or I think there's that little maker's mark with a 925 on there. And this has a hinge, and that pops open, right? So you can, this is the way it would normally present itself, right? So you can connect this to whatever necklace you're thinking, pop that closed. This is a little finger thing to pull that open, right? To unlatch that. And then you dangle whatever you want from that, and this dangles from a necklace or thing. So you can attach, I don't know, whatever dangly thing you want, from there, and then you can mix and match. Take this off a necklace, put it on a necklace, whenever you want, right? So you don't. The basic idea is that you can, remove it, interchange it, so that your piece, your pendant piece, right, that's dangling from this isn't stuck on one necklace. You can, change it, mix and match. And I've got a couple of those things in this tray that I'm going to show you today, but they'll pop up intermittently because just looking at this now, there's no rhyme or reason for the order that these are put into, sort of thing. Our next item is a very traditional bail, little scalloped one. We've got so many different sizes and shapes of this, exact similar bail that it would be nice if one day we could rearrange it to have them all together, so you could see the subtle differences between all of them. Because there are differences, even though if you look at one and then you look at another one 10 minutes later, you might think, well, wait a minute, that was just the same thing I saw 10 minutes ago. But they're not. They're all subtly different. Anyway, this one, LJ218 with a retail price of $3.22 and a wholesale price of $2.42. It's just a standard pinch bail with a good 6mm gap between the two, I don't know, what do you call those things? The flanges? We'll call them flanges. That'll be the new word we'll call them. A little flange on the side where the pin is underneath. Right? And again, don't stress about if the pin seems short. Now these come together, beautifully, together. But even if not, if you have to pull this open and the pins don't meet each other down into the center of your piece, they're a lot more secure than you might want to give them credit for. Just because of the function, all the weight, and I mentioned this 100 times, but when this is connected to a piece, or when a stone or whatever is in here, all of the weight is pulling straight down, perpendicular to the plane of the pin. The pin, if it got pulled straight down, the pin would bend theoretically until it reached the other side of the hole, and then it would get stuck. And there's no way to pull these apart, right? Kind of thing. So I know some people feel like, well, if it doesn't go all the way through, it's not secure. And I don't know, that's really not true. Anyway, neither here nor there. Our next item, LJ644 with a retail price of $10.14 and a wholesale price of $7.35. And this is another one of those, let me just pull this open, right? Another one of those necklace enhancer things. This one has a loop down at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. So it would hang from your necklace like this. It's got a cute little flourish kind of effect in the front. Right? Very cute. Little loop. And then this pulls open. Doing. It's got a little ball and loop snap closure, which are quite sturdy, you know. Yes, it is sterling silver, and eventually this will stretch open a little bit, but I don't know if you can see there's a little notch cut into both sides on the either side of the loop. That gives it a little bit of flexibility when it's opening and closing, so that when you snap it closed, you know, it pushes back closed. But if it ever did get loose, all you would have to do is just grab this with a pair of pliers and just give it a little pinch there, preferably like a nylon jaw pliers or something. And then it, you know, would be like new. So silver is a great material for jewelry making. It's, you know, it's really it's not super dense like gold is, so it's not really super hard to work with. I don't know. Very flexible, very resilient if you alloy it with a little bit of copper, which is what sterling silver is. Sterling silver is 92.5% silver and 7.5% copper, well, ostensibly 7.5% copper. Some people have different proprietary ratios of copper and zinc maybe inside, you know, different things. But as long as it's 92, or if you ever seen like those quote unquote tarnish resistant sterling alloys, right? They call them germanium or I can't remember. There's a couple of different, you know, versions of it. But basically, there's still 92.5% silver, and the other 7.5% is, you know, different proprietary ratios of copper and germanium, or germanium and zinc. And the germanium in those alloys creates a less attractive place for the oxygen to go to. So they don't bind very easily with oxygen, which is what creates the cupric oxide, or the tarnish. Whereas traditional sterling silver, which is 92.5 silver and about 7.5% copper, which is what our sterling is, and the copper content loves oxygen, and that's what makes tarnish. That's why we rhodium plate all these things. So rhodium is very, very oxygen resistant, so it'll last, you know, years and years, looking beautiful and shiny and silver and tarnish free. Anyway, neither here nor there. A little science for you today, this morning. Here's another beautiful pinch bail with a nice big box bail up at the top there. Some cute little elements. That's a pretty wide piece, so I don't know, probably you know, 4mm wide clasp can go through there very easily. Although it's probably the other end that you're worried about getting through there. Dangling from a very, oops, let me get this straight. There you go. Dangling from a very traditional chevron style pinch bail. Very gorgeous. Here's a maybe should I pull one out of the thing? I should pull one out of the bag because it's a leafy thing, and this is one of those bails that the whole piece goes over the goes over your stone, right? So it's all one piece kind of folded over. So if your piece, you know, fills all the way up there, I mean, that's no good because then there's no room for the chain. So you need to have a little bit of a gap between the edge of the hole and the edge of your piece and the pin, right? Nice big wide pin. Now, clearly this pin, you wouldn't need that to be quite so long. So you'd probably cut those down. So it's a little bit longer. Anyway, beautiful, cute little leaf pattern on the front. Can't go wrong. That is LJ344 with a retail price of $9.45 and a wholesale price of $5.92. And our next item, whoops, that popped right off. LJ768 with a retail price of $11.95 and a wholesale price of $7.96. Now this one is another one of those hinged, you know, things with a little snap lock. Oops, I'm out of the frame there. So that's what it looks like from the front, right? Just a very simple bail with the hinge at the top and the loop down at the bottom, and then that opens up. So you can take this off and, you know, connect it to other necklaces or whatever. So whatever you have dangling from this, you can use on multiple different pieces. I think that's kind of the point of that whole concept of a bail, right? Very cute. Can't go wrong. That's a pretty thick one too. It's really good size. So what did I say? This one is LJ 768 with a retail price of $11.95 and a wholesale price of $7.96. And you put that back on the card. Here's our next item. Nice big wide. This is a different kind of bail. This is the one where the pin goes through the loop in the back, right? And creates that pattern on the front. So this is a really good versatile, you know, bail if you have something that maybe the edge of the stone would go up to, oops, I'm way out of the frame here. Maybe the edge of the stone will go up that high, so there's lots of room above that, right? For the chain to go through, it's really good. Versatile, kind of elegant too. I love that pierced, not really filigree-ish, but that pierced pattern effect on the front of that. Our next item is a nice big wide bail. Similar concept, right? It's all one piece, right? Pinch bail, although it's pinch bail where the pins are on both sides of the flange, right? We said we were going to call this a flange. These flanges are, I know that's not the name. I'm just making it up, right? Because people just make up names in jewelry. Have you noticed that? My favorite is stones. People make up names for stones that just, okay, yeah, whatever works. So we've got this lovely just leaf shape. This is LJ 633 with a retail price of $14.47 and a wholesale price of $9.05. And this is a nice big thick wide piece. You can get a, I don't know, 8mm wide, you know, stone through there. Easy. Here we have another necklace enhancer type thing. And they're called necklace enhancer, really, but, well, I guess you're enhancing the necklace. The point is that you can remove this, you know, whatever is dangling from here, remove this and connect it to a different necklace as you want. You know, so you can have one pendant that you wear every day with 10 different necklaces, you know, or whatever. Anyway, there's an open loop here. I pulled this open a little bit so you can see that it's open, but this just closes beautifully. This has got that hinge and that little ball and loop opening again. Again, it's got that little notch there. Very easy to tighten if you need to, if it gets loose after a couple of years of heavy use. I don't know. Can't go wrong. LJ 884 with a retail price of $7.59 and a wholesale price of $4.55. Our next item is LJ 208 with a retail price of $8.40 and a wholesale price of $6.31. This is another nice big wide pinch bail. It's all one piece, right? So, you know, you wouldn't want the hole to be exactly the distance from the pin to the top of that thing away from each other. You need to leave a little bit of a gap so there's room for the chain to get through there. But again, I just love that beautiful split or pierced thing. Just like a little flower motif in the top there. Nice wide open back, right? Makes it nice and light, but super effective at holding your stones in there. Again, LJ 208, $8.40 is the retail price and $6.31 is the wholesale price. Now here's one that's just not a pinch bail, it's just a bail, right? It's a triangular bail with that, you know, what do you call that? Faux, I guess, Bali granulation effects in the front there. It's got some little twisty wire effects, like filigree effects, right? Although this is cast, this is not granulation. It's just kind of faux granulation, right? Nice big wide. This is actually a little less wide than the thing looks. No, that's it. That's you know, probably 3 or 4 millimeters wide, you know, 6 millimeters deep. So depending on the shape of your chain, you could pretty easily get that through there. You know, your cording material will go through that way, and then you just dangle whatever you want from there. It always hangs upside down on the display card, right? But this is the orientation that you would see it. And this is LJ 900, LJ 900 with a retail price of $464 and a retail or wholesale price of $290. And did I say that right? I think I said that backwards. Anyway, retail price of $464, wholesale $290. Our next item, I love this one, is LJ 266 with a retail price of $19.96 and a wholesale price of $12.47. This is another hinged one, right? This is a regular bale with a bunch of cubic zirconias in the front. Just gorgeous, right? And that opens up, doink, into a lovely little, you know, opening. So you can, again, take this, you know, if you have it would require something with a pretty big sized loop, you know, to be dangling from this. Or, you know, because it's almost like, you could use this two ways. I guess you could also just cut the bale off and then turn this around to have your stringing material go through there and dangle whatever you want through that. Or dangle something from here, you know. Very versatile. There's no stopping the creative juices from flowing once you start playing with these kind of things. I just love it. Here, our next one, LJ 638 with a retail price of $9.33 and a wholesale price of $5.60. This is a nice, big, chunky, you know, rounded, right, pretty thick, pretty good size, pretty hefty, regular old bale, right, with a loop down at the bottom, so your stringing material will go through there. That would just dangle down, and that. There's something about I don't know. I mean, the thin ones are cool because they're less expensive, but there's something about nice, substantial, beefy bales that I just find them way, I don't know, I find them way more attractive personally. But that's just me. LJ 630 with a retail price of $13.87 and a wholesale price of $8.67. And this one is super popular, although it's not really my style, but boy, we do sell a ton of these. It's a simple pinch bale. Obviously, the pinches, you would cut those down, right? You probably don't need them to be quite so large. But it's probably really popular because it's just a very simple, kind of organic looking front. And it's nice and wide at the top, so you can get whatever you want through there. It can hide, you know, chips around the hole if you have, you know, that. I don't know. It's just really super popular because it's not very expensive either. Retail price is $13.87 and a wholesale price is $8.67 per piece. LJ 630, lovely simple pinch bale. Yeah, how can you go wrong with that? It's very cute. It looks kind of I don't know, veiny almost, like the veins in a leaf. Right? Am I reading too much into that? Maybe I am. I don't know. People have different impressions about what things are. This is, should I pull this off? Oh, I should pull one out of the bag. Because it's going to be hard to see what it is, because it's always upside down on these cards. But this is just a simple triangular kind of bale, right? The triangle bale. But it's nice and thick and beefy, very gorgeous, very sturdy. Nice big wide opening, right? LJ 635 with a retail price of $7.58 and a wholesale price of $4.88. Right, so this is not open, so if you're using this, constructing this in a piece, you'd have to, suppose you're making a pendant, right? The loop that you're connecting from here to the pendant, you would have to connect through there first, right? String it through that, and then solder your ring, the opening in the ring directly to the pendant or something, right? But I just love that. Something about that beefier bales. You know, I think it is because all the years that I did my own fabrication of those kind of bales, you know, you're using sheet metal, and it's rare that, you know, you're willing to go through the nightmare of bending over something like that. It's like probably 16 gauge, right? If you were to measure the thickness, maybe 1.4 millimeters, maybe I don't know, 1.2, 1.4, something like that. So 16 gauge or so. Folding that around into a little tiny piece, what a pain in... The next item, LJ, is at 640 with a retail price of $14.39 and a wholesale price of $9.78. Again, this is upside down in the piece just because that's the way they dangle, but this is the way it would present itself as you were using it. Nice, very stately, I don't know, bale area, nice big wide, you know, piece in the center section, kind of almost Art Deco looking, right, with a simple loop down at the bottom. Again, this is nice and chunky, nice and hefty. There's a lot of heft to that. There's a lot of we'll call it object permanence. LJ 640 with a retail price of $14.39 and a wholesale price of $9.78. And here's another upside down look at it. Sorry. Doesn't want to sit straight. Here we have LJ 247 with a retail price of $7.72 and a wholesale price of $5.66. And it's just a simple, this is one of those, it's a pin through the back bale, right? So there's a hole out the back that the, you can see that the pin goes through. This is bent down to give room for the display. And it's got a lovely, simple horseshoe-shaped bale, split, V-split bale with the rows of cubic zirconias in there. So, right. Some people might want to call this like a rabbit ear bale, except that there's a piece, you know, across the top. So it's not really like a split rabbit ear split bale. Those are normally not together. They're separate. LJ 984 with a retail price of $4.16 and a wholesale price of $2.60. And again, very simple, you know, scalloped flanges on this bale. This is a pin that goes right through. There's that hole on the back of the other flange, right? And this just has a loop on the top instead of a triangular bale, I think. But hard to go wrong. It's kind of cool, kind of simple, kind of gorgeous. LJ 984 with a retail price of $4.16 and a wholesale price of $2.60. Come on, how can you go wrong with that? The answer is you can't. Now these next two, I don't know. I think they're like identical, almost identical. They're not exactly identical, but they're so close. The first one, LJ 629 with a retail price of $11.97 and a wholesale price of $7.03. It's just a simple leaf bale, right? That it's connected at the top, right? So this hinge is open from there. So you probably couldn't get anything thicker than like a 6 millimeter thick piece in there. And the two pins, of course, are like way too long. So you'd have to cut those down depending on how thick your piece is, right? To get that to go. But nice, big, chunky piece. I love the texture, right? Inside the little dimples, inside the veins of the leaf. And, you know, it's just smooth on the back and that texture on the front. Now, the other one is, right, it's almost exactly the same size. The veins are just a little bit different. I don't know why you would prefer one over the other. You know, they both work pretty much the same. These ones have already been cut down for you, so the pinches are a little more reasonable. Maybe it's a little thinner, maybe 4 millimeters thick would be the best to go in that. Anyway, this one, LJ 955 with a retail price of $9.83 and a wholesale price of $6.14. So it's a little bit less expensive, a little lighter. I guess, I don't know, but the design is pretty close to the same. Again, we'll call them spiritual cousins. This one's just a little bit pared down version of it for a little bit thinner pieces. Our next item, LJ 727. Sorry, LJ 727 with a retail price of $7.37 and a wholesale price of $5.90. And this has some kind of it's just a pinch bail, right, with the 2 pins. And it looks like olives, right? Olive branches dangling down. That's what I'm going with. Olives or apricots. Our next item, and we have 2 that are right next to each other. And I know that we have a couple more that look just like this. Or just slightly altered versions of this in other trays, but we'll get to them another time. LJ 714 with a retail price of $2.83 and a wholesale price of $1.89. LJ 714, and this is just a regular. It's just gorgeous, but regular triangular bail. It's a little bit beefier than a sheet metal one, right? So this is not stamped; these are actually cast. It's got the 2 ends come to a nice point there, so this is perfect if you already have the loop as part of your piece, because you could just put this on, push this closed, and solder that those 2 ends together, and boom, there you go, perfect. Perfect. Beautiful, and it's I don't know, it's just way nicer, way beefier, a little more substantial than the usual kinds of solder on bales that you find. I just love it, love it. Oh, and one thing, right, so I don't know if you could see, this is a little bit tarnished, right? This is specifically designed to be soldered onto something else, so it's not rhodium plated, that one, unlike most of the others. Now, this one is a pinch bail, right? It's just a very simple, tiny V bail. This is where you want the bail to be there, but you don't want it to be you know, in your face, very unobtrusive, very simple, very elegant. LJ 680 with a retail price of $4.20. $4.20. And a wholesale price of $2.68. Right. Very simple, elegant pinch bail. Can't go wrong. Oh, you know what? I missed one. Well, whatever. We'll come back to it. Here's one, LJ 1004 with a retail price of $10.40 and a wholesale price of $6.94. And it's just lovely, kind of filigree-ish, and lots of granulation on there. Very Bali-esque. I don't know. It's a little more flourishy than Bali-esque. So I would say probably more Turkish-inspired. Right? Maybe Moroccan, you know, instead of Bali. It's still that same techniques, but anyway. Nice big wide pinch bail, right, with 2 pins. Probably get something thick, as thick as like 6 or 8 millimeters in there. Can't go wrong. Here is a lovely, gorgeous, just a regular tab pinch bail, right? Or the pin bail. The pin goes right through the back, the hole in the back. The pinch part is not very big, so I don't know, probably something up to about 4 millimeters thick, I think would be the thickest piece you could probably comfortably get that into that, right? And then that dangles from that little 4-leaf clover pattern, bedecked in cubic zirconias, that kind of frame box bail where the chain goes through that gap there. Very lovely. very blingy. LJ220 is the SKU. $14.94 is the retail price, and $10.66 is the wholesale price. Did we do this last week? $10.66, Battle of Hastings. I think there was something else that also had that price. LJ930 with a retail price of $9.52 and a wholesale price of $6.34. Now, at first glance, this just looks like a nice thin, you know, teardrop bale, and that is what it is. But this is super versatile, right? Because these flanges, or which we're calling them, you can open that up and pull that around something, so you can get something as thin as, you know, 3 or 4 millimeters up to as thick as probably 6 millimeters, maybe 8 millimeters thick. That might be pushing it, but you could definitely pull these around something depending on how far away the hole is, right? So that's a pretty good, that's probably 15 millimeters or so, 20 millimeters maybe from the pins to the top of the throat. So you could definitely get something that's, you know, pretty far away. Nice, super versatile all around. Here's another one, right, with a loop. It's just a plain loop instead of a bale. Nice big horseshoe kind of shape. So a nice big thick piece. This, boy, you can get something as thick as, you know, 10 millimeters, maybe 10 millimeters thick in there. Yeah. And you need a nice big wide open, and there's the front, right? The back has the maker's mark and the 925 stamp on there, but that's so that would be the front. Just a nice plain smooth elegant beautiful little piece with a little circle down at the bottom, a little barbell where that holds on. I love it. We're getting close to the end. Oh, I didn't save the blingiest one for the last. Oh well. LJ780 with a retail price of $17.47 and a wholesale price of $10.92. And this, again, just plain simple triangular bale. This is all messed up from being on the display card, but right, a regular triangular bale with a loop and that lovely kind of flourishes and you know, little leafy things, right? Just lovely. There's no cubic zirconias in there, although you know, if you look at it quickly enough, it kind of feels like there is some kind of bling. And you got that cute little post. So the hole would have to be pretty close to the edges, you know, for that to work, because there's not a lot of space between the pins and the top of that that bale. So pretty close to the edge, pretty small. These two edges here, you can bend these down if your piece is real thin, or just keep them, you know, up like that, depending, you know, totally up to you. You can always customize these things. Here's a lovely chonker LJ250 with a retail price of $23.96 and a wholesale price of $14.98. It's a lovely Art Deco inspired 3 flanges or 3 I don't know, well, what do you call those, 3 scallops, maybe, not really scallops, but we'll call them scallops, in the front. And the back has this I guess it's interchangeable, right? You could use either one side for the front and the back and the other side for the back or the front. A little diamond shape with a heart carved into the bottom half, right? So it's kind of a triangle and a heart, or a diamond that has a heart in it. Very cool. Right, and that's that. So you can use that as the back, or you can use that side as the back, or as the front, or the front. Totally up to you. Interchangeable. I love that. Here we have one, you know what, I don't think we have any more of these, but LJ362 with a retail price of $5.55 and a wholesale price of $4.07. And it's just a, you know, a plain old bale with, it's really popular. I'm not sure why, because I can't, these look like kind of weird frog hands or something that would be grabbing the front of your stone. Or just, I don't know, 3 cute little clouds, something, I don't know. You see only what you bring with you, right? Isn't that what Yoda tells Luke as he's going into the cave there on Dagobah? A little pop culture reference. You see what you take with you. They say the thing LJ362 with a retail price of $555 and a wholesale price of $407. Do you know we sell a ton of these? We also have one that's also very similar, but it actually is a frog, where you can see the little froggy paws and the little froggy face and everything. But that wasn't in the trays today. This is the last one I'm going to show you today. LJ810 with a retail price of $780 and a wholesale price of $488. And again, standard old, triangular bail with a good 4 millimeters maybe opening in the bail. And there's pinch bail, right? This one is bent a little bit. A couple of leaves with a little berry there. So I don't know, is that holly leaves maybe? Or maybe that's an acorn and those are, I don't know. I'm not a botanist or an arborist. They're leaves. Leaves and berries. Right? So you can't go wrong. Very cute. Very gorgeous. And considering where the pinch is, right, from the peg, right, this would cover, parts of the stone. So if you want some kind of leafy things covering the stone or extending down onto the stone, golly, this is your answer. And that's it. That's the last one from today. We did 2 trays. I know that seemed quick, but because we have a bunch of pieces that had been pulled out of these trays, because we noticed that there was probably 50 or 60 bales that were mysteriously not on the website. So we've been doing photography and stuff, and we'll get those up on the website. We'll get the pictures edited, and then we'll get those up on the website. When we can, we'll do the best we can, get them up as soon as we can. Yeah, because I know it seems like when I look at the number of bales that we have, there's just so many styles, so many things, and then when I look at the website, and it's like, where is this? So how come this is not? Anyway, neither here nor there, except to understand that we are working on it. We are always getting stuff up on the website. Thankfully, it looks like, or I guess not thankfully, but unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to be getting much more new stuff before the end of the year. I imagine after the beginning, because we're just doing the best we can to replenish inventory, the things that we're actually out of, and it's swamped with custom stuff. It's so great. We're doing so much custom work these days that we love it. And with the pandemic and stuff, it's hard, working with the thing. Is the office open tomorrow? Technically no, because it is a statutory holiday. But I'm going to be coming in to process the orders that happen overnight. So not really, but yes, but no. If there's an emergency and you need something tomorrow, give us a call. If we're here, we'll answer. We're happy to help you. If not, Remembrance Day, right? Yes, statutory holiday. So technically, no, the office is not really open tomorrow, but somebody will be here at least for part of the day. I know that our shipping agent has holiday hours from 10 to 2, so I probably will be here at least until 1:30 or so, 1:45, depending. I need to get to them before they close for the day, so to drop off the shipment. So yeah, in the morning somebody will be here. Other than that, I think that's it for today. We will see you next week, next Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, and extrapolate it out to wherever you are. If you want to see us live, which nobody ever does, but that's okay. You can watch us after the fact on YouTube, that you do so well. In the meantime, take care of yourself, take care of the planet, take care of your mental health, and we will see you next week. All right, bye-bye.